I recently released a short film sharing my boring, ordinary life in an extraordinary way through cinematography, and here I want to quickly show you how I color graded 2 shots from the film in DaVinci Resolve. The first shot is in black and white, covering how I achieved the black and white scenes, and the other is a color shot to cover the color scenes. Once you get the final look you want, you can copy the grade to your other clips so they match, and then make minor adjustments to get the look just right. Let me know in the comments below if you have any tips to share or questions about my process, but don't forget I already have many videos on my channel breaking down how I color grade. Since I already graded the shots, I'll take you through what I did in each node and break down my thought process. Let's start with the black and white shot. I always start in the second node where I place the tungsten phantom LUT to get a good image from S-Log3. I then go back to the first node and make my primary adjustments. I start by dropping the highlights to bring back some detail, then I usually raise the gamma, lower the lift, and see where I want the gain to go, but here I lowered it. This is all to help open the image up and get more of the details to show. I also lowered the shadows. I added contrast and moved the pivot to brighten it up and lowered the mid detail a bit so my face is overall softer to help my skin. We go to the third node next and add default anchors to create a film curve that raises the blacks and drops the lighter parts. In the fourth node, I only mess with the hue versus saturation to get rid of some of the blues we see and a little of the yellow and reds to ensure we are only getting shades of black and white. We'll skip the fifth node for now and grade the image in node 6 to get more color contrast. I cool the lifts by lowering the reds and I warm it up in the gamma. I go to the log wheels and subtract green in the shadows to balance the image and warm the midtones a bit more. In the seventh node, we enable editable spleens and make the image pop even more by pushing the curve. And finally, we added Dehancer in node 8 where I set my film profile to Kodak Vision 3 500T. In Dehancer, I opened up the expand, adjust the print by raising the exposure, contrast, and lowering the saturation from 100 to about 62. And here are my film grain settings if you'd like to use them. In the last node, I add glow to make the image pop even more. I lower the global blend, change the composite type to soft light, and open up the threshold and spread. I also increase the gain and gamma here. Going back to the fifth node, I made a vignette with a circle mask, adjusted the position, and decreased the gamma until I liked the look. This is to help draw more focus to the center of the frame. The vignette wasn't needed for this shot, but I used it for all the black and white shots, so I wanted it to match. And that's how I got the black and white look in my short film. Before I get into the color shot workflow, if you've been searching for the highest quality music you can use for your YouTube videos, short films, or even client work, then let me introduce you to Musicbed. Have you ever found a song that would be perfect for your short film or video you're working on, but you know you can't use it without getting a copyright strike here on YouTube? Then let me introduce you to Musicbed AI. No matter the artist, no matter the song, you can type in the music you're referencing from here and find songs on Musicbed that match in vibe, genre, pacing, and feeling. This is a game changer because I've mentioned in previous videos how long it could take to find the right song for the project, and if I know what I'm looking for in another song, I can find other songs that fit that same vibe I want, and picking the right song is very important to bring the project all together. This is going to save me so much time since Musicbed has an incredible roster of highly curated music to pick from, and you can truly hear the quality of the authentic, emotional songs as you browse. I joined Musicbed's Friend of the Brand program, so if you want to support me and the channel and switch to Musicbed to experience what you can only find with their exclusive collection of music, then start your free trial with my affiliate link down below. Now, I'll break down my workflow for the color shot. I once again started in node 2 with a tungsten phantom LUT. This is my favorite method of starting my workflow. I went back to node 1 and first dropped the offset since I really overexposed my shot. I added contrast back in and opened up the pivot to the left. I decreased the highlights and messed with the gamma and gain like the previous shot. This time I increased the shadows in my image to get some of that detail back. I lowered the temperature a bit, increased the tint towards the magenta, and decreased the mid detail by 10. And I also boosted the colors by 3. In the third node, I once again added default anchors to create this film curve. In the fourth node, I desaturated the greens in cyan because the color was bleeding a bit into the whole image. The following node was for the grading. I first decreased the reds in the lift and I warmed up the gamma. Then in the log wheels, I first went to the shadows and made sure to add a bit of purple to make sure that the blacks were black. And of course I warmed up the midtones a bit more. In the following node, I once again went with editable spleens to make it pop a bit more and get more details in the lighter parts of the image. For the next node once again, I added Dehancer. The film profile was 500t, I opened up the expand, and increased the exposure and contrast in the print tab. Once again, here are my film grain settings. I ended this grade with glow in the last node, and here are my settings. I always make sure to lower the global blend, and I change the composite type to soft light. After changing those settings, I always recommend experimenting with the other ones, but you can see what I did here. After I finished, I realized I wanted a bit more detail in the highlights, so I added another node before the first one to bring that down even more. And that's how I color graded this shot. In your shots, you might want a different look, so experiment with the color, exposure, and see how your image can turn out. If you want a deeper dive or further breakdown on my color grade workflow, check out any of these videos already on my channel. If you enjoyed this quick little run through of my color grade workflow, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment down below, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.